With DMZ Season 2, there is a lot that we need to talk about regarding new maps, weather systems, and other features that we'd be really excited to see, as well as what we currently know. Also, this is the new sound of money. It looks like an iPod Shuffle, except much thinner. The size of a credit card, actually. This is a solar-powered tracker that goes in EKSTER smart wallets that is connected to a worldwide lost and found network and can be voice activated by Siri, Alexa, or Google. I personally lost my wallet many times, and it sucks. Not even in crazy places either. I'm talking like just sitting on the couch at like my ex's house. The last place that you want to come back and look for an item that potentially carries your entire livelihood. My old wallet is bulky. It's worn out, so I decided to ditch it. I still need the cards out of it. But EKSTER sent me this new smart wallet, and I'm telling you, I'm never going back. It's basically the James Bond of wallets. Shaken, not stirred. You can access all your cards at the click of a button. Its sleek and minimalistic design give it half the size of a conventional bifold wallet, and it still holds up to 12 cards plus cash. It also has built-in RFID blocking to protect you from wireless theft. Look, it's 2023. You should be prepared and comfortable. Get up to 25% off EKSTER wallets during the New Year's sale. That's only going on until January 24th when you use my link in the pinned comments or discount code PLAYER2 at checkout. Now, Season 2 presumably begins on February 1st, with that being the expiration date of the Season 1 Battle Pass. This also lines up with the fact that major updates usually land on a Wednesday, and with it there are some likely additions that we might see. The first is a new area. We just got access a few weeks ago to the second location that's been added to DMZ, Building 21. The Biolab has given players an entirely fresh new way to play DMZ with no tac map, forcing us to use maps at the building stairwells and the new LP levels that throughout the match will intermittently increase the threat level of the AI, giving them higher difficulty and increasing their numbers. And it needs to be said that Building 21, just being an interior site, gives us a completely different experience than Al Mazrah. The fights with other players and the AI are intensified with more close quarters and fast-paced encounters. Now with Season 2, it's likely that we are getting a third location to choose from when dropping into the DMZ. A while back, a leak was revealed, then quickly taken down, showing off what looks to be the next map. Just like Building 21, it seems like it'll boast fresh new gameplay tactics that will differ from the previous two maps. What we see is an island, much smaller than Al Mazrah, with multiple named POIs, but the main thing I'm focusing on here is the text in the top left that says Resurgence will likely have around 50 players, but it does not say how many players are going to be dropped in for DMZ mode. If it's the same as they have right now with Al Mazrah, you will 100% encounter much more PvP, making this map not as intense as Building 21, but definitely more PvP focused than Al Mazrah. This could give the devs some interesting new territory for faction missions, maybe allowing them to add more PvP focused objectives in the future. Building 21 so far has added a new boss to kill, which gives you his grenade launcher contraband weapon, and new weapon cases to obtain, granting you some unlockable cosmetics. With the new map, I think it's likely that we're going to see the same thing, but I am hoping to see factors that are independent to this location. Just like with how Building 21, we get the LPCon threat levels and the deactivated tac map. More importantly, new and more diverse faction missions are a necessity. Building 21 is yet to add any new missions for us to complete, but we've already seen that there are dead drops at this location, so I'm sure in future updates we will see some added. And I don't want to spend much time on this because there's really nothing backing it up, but many in the community think that they've already figured out where Building 21 is located, like where it's built. In the top left, when you drop in, you can clearly see that the Biolab is built underneath a massive crater with some vegetation and some roads that get cut off at the impact point. The Twitter user Hotel6 did the work of giving us an overlay of the nuked area from Verdansk, and it lines up pretty closely to the surrounding area outside of Building 21, meaning that the underground building could be located on Verdansk. Verdansk. And at some point, we could get a map of a post-apocalyptic Verdansk, which sounds super cool, but at the same time, that is all just speculation at this point, so don't get your hopes up. I also wouldn't get your hopes up that this will be the last DMZ update of mine that you'll see. If you've made it this far into the video, odds are you're into it. So consider subscribing if you haven't already. Either way, new maps are not the only additions that the DMZ needs, and I think by now the devs kind of know that. They have been working on many new features in the background like dynamic weather and day and night cycles that will add diversity to the experience, and that's great. I feel like that's something that a new map would definitely bring in, but it still doesn't help the DMZ gain purpose and reward for playing. I've already posted an entire video of what I think the DMZ needs over time, but I have no expectation for them to actually do all of that, especially not by season 2. All I'd personally like to see next season is two things. I don't need some crazy stash system or a massive player HUD like we get in Call of Duty World War II. I'd love to see those things, but I need to see more uses for the random items that you find around the map. Outside of a small amount of fetch quest type faction missions, about, I don't know, 80% of the items that you find in the DMZ have no use. They aren't even worth picking up to sell at the buy station. So you have basically no incentive in carrying them in your backpack at all. In any game that has a significant amount of resources that are useless has a problem. Potential solutions could be a crafting system where you could use those items to make things outside of the DMZ that you can bring with you into following raids, or maybe an economy system with more depth and buy stations where you can buy and sell items that you've extracted with from the menu. The second thing that I'd like to see, I think is more important, is incentive to exfil. Once again, outside of faction missions, we need more reasons to want to survive, something to work towards. I just don't know what they should be that makes sense with the current game mechanics they've already put in place. We've talked about extending the stash, allowing us to build up our items, customizable contraband weapons with lootable attachments that you can find in drops, giving you more to focus on exfilling with, and some other ideas, but I feel like season 2 is their chance to show us some worthwhile additions to keep us playing or even bring people back. New maps without additional features like that will not hold the player base forever. And don't be a weeb, okay? If you're in the comments saying I should just go play some other extraction looter shooter like Tarkov, or that's why it's called a beta, player 2, go to bed, Belvita, or whatever names kids are being given these days. I'm not asking them to completely change the movement style, the gunplay, the health system, or anything that makes COD COD. I just want more depth and incentive to exfil. Anybody should want that. And it's irrelevant if it's in beta, because every game is in beta these days. I don't even know what that word means anymore. See what you're making me do with this new language demonetization YouTube? Now I gotta bleep every time I say the word. Regardless, there are additions to the DMZ that we can all get the community talking about that Infinity Ward will have to consider moving forward. I've recently made an entire list of new features that the DMZ could start adding to improve the experience over the course of its beta. Right here, check it out.